how to make India the largest data center provider, the go-to destination in Asia, how to provide our needs, how to meet the goal of data sovereignty, and how to turn this into a vibrant, buzzing ecosystem with a great potential for our economic growth, all included. Some of the best in the business are joining us. We are doing this in partnership with ASSOCHAM. Let me introduce Sumit Makhija, Chief Executive Officer of ST Telemedia GDC. Do we have the capacity right here, or are we waiting for some tech transfer? Are we waiting for some foreign investor, some big conglomerate to come in? Or can we just do it right now? There's just some X factors that need to be put into place.
I think as an industry, we need to just garner all our resources and get this act together. We have every single amount of resource and brain and capability right here on this panel represented here itself. But I just wanted to add to the previous point that where is this whole growth coming from? Internally, Darshan pointed out that internally itself there is a huge market. So 1.3 billion digitally included Indians means 15 zettabytes of data, means more data centers from where all of these services, all of this data needs to be stored, managed, disseminated to users on the device of their choice, anywhere, anytime. So the opportunity is huge. And on top of that, there are global players, internet players, economies, cloud players who want to come into India and serve this very market, right? So in 2014, when we started, our biggest customer was 1 megawatt. Today, our biggest customer might have actually 50, 60 megawatts on its own.
Okay.
And then we have, ever-growing need from these customers. And this is why we are in this forum. And this is why we're building all these capacities.
So power, of course, is a very important thing. Sumit Makhija, why is this opportunity so India-centric? Now, what the other two before you have said is, look, obviously, if India is producing so much data and will be over the next decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, that's the obvious answer. What's the other advantage we have?
Well, we actually have access to huge amounts of skilled manpower, right, which is very cost effective. So I think 3 things that we bring to the table, Rishabh. First is the quality and the operational excellence, right? Over the years, we have honed our skills as an industry to be able to bring quality build as well as operational excellence. By the way, new operational excellence measures are around 100% uptime, 24/7, 365. No standard today will get set. Today's standards are 99.982, 99.995, but the global customer is looking at 100%. So as Indian industry, we have evolved to be able to meet those kind of operational excellence and build quality and safety standards, which the global players are looking at. Of course, the bar is getting higher, so we need to keep ourselves on our toes and meet that requirement.
Okay.
The second thing is about cost competitiveness, because and there's a difference between being cheap and being cost competitive. My worry is that if we overdo things a little bit and oversell this point, we might end up being tagged as cheap, and we might have price wars between us, which is not what we want as an industry. Right? So these are the 2 main things, and finally, an area of improvement which maybe you will ask later. But I can share now is the time to market, which is perhaps a slightly damping point, because in a typical data center, you have 6 to 8 months of pre-approvals required even before you can dig the ground. And add to that 12 months of construction, add to that 6 months of technical fit-outs. It's a 24-month cycle from time to market. And this has been a dampener, because when customers come, they want to address this very much the same Indian market that Darshan and Sharat talked about. And easily we can shave off 6 months from their time to market if we have a cohesive single window of approval for data centers.
What would be the couple of things that would, if there's a big player wanting to come into India, right, that they would still be tempted to go to a Singapore? What is the 1 or 2 things that would still flip them into a different market and not ours?
Very simple, Rishabh. First is the local market here itself, right, which they want to address, which is very, very tempting, just like for us, for them as well. The second, of course, is the cost competitiveness, which India can offer. And third is the location itself.
Okay, but what I was asking was that why would it be a no-brainer? That India should be a no-brainer. So what is it simply coming into India has to deal, you have to deal with certain loopholes or rather holes that you have to jump over that are still a problem, that is stopping us from going into an exponential, explosive environment?
So you can sort issues around the approval cycles and the time to market. Like you said, if you reduce it from 24 months to 12 months, we are at par with, at best with China, for example. So why would a customer choose India over China or India over Singapore? Time to market would be definitely one of them.
Okay.
Second, of course, is a very conducive environment. When I say conducive, it means the way they hire their local staff here, the way they contract with us, the way jurisdictions are defined, the way taxation is handled. Because many of these companies actually have businesses which are internet-based, and internet-based businesses do have some gray areas which Government of India will do well to define upfront so that there are no surprises.
Sumitji, what is the obvious thing that we need to get in place so that a company coming to India can be assured that whatever megawatts of data they are putting up over here, the bar on legality and jurisdiction is very, very high on that?
Yeah, the companies doing business in India, global companies, they're deeply worried about the data of the Indian customers as well, right? And unfortunately, data privacy, on the other hand, in India has been a very, very subjective problem. So every time we are browsing, we think we are safe, secure, and no one's watching us, but every click is getting recorded somewhere. Every time you use a voice assistant, we think that it is in the privacy of our home, but it is getting recorded somewhere. Similarly, you fill an online insurance form with one bank, and next day on your number, very same number, which is in your DNB number, you get a call from another guy trying to sell you a car or some other credit card or something. So that's the state of the privacy in India, unfortunately, which I think these kind of bills should address it to the root. And once the companies who are coming to India have that kind of faith in this bill as well as what it is trying to achieve for the local Indian customer, I'm sure they're going to trust what we can do as a country and as a regulation for the global customers.
The conceptualization, if I flip this around, and Sumitji, help us do it. We've been having, as you're aware, in this country, for security reasons, for privacy reasons, conversations on data sovereignty, right? That we should be able to store our data here. Now, you guys have to build the infrastructure for us to be able to do it, you and the larger industry and the other players. In this case, is there an opportunity as well in us going ahead with data sovereignty? And what does that really mean? How do we talk about ourselves as a data sovereign nation going ahead?
Absolutely. And data sovereignty and localization and data privacy literally go hand in hand, Rishabh. And it is actually good for the Indian users as well, the consumers, which are our customers, our joint customers, whether it is the service providers, cloud providers, us, right? We all ultimately serve the consumer and the user, the enterprise user as well. So if the data remains in the country, so their online transactions are more secure, it is inherently safer for them. Their user experience is far better as compared to what typically would happen if the data was elsewhere. So that's why we have so many of these cloud players and CDN players and content players and international payment gateways and software as a service providers lining up for providing their services in India. So it's a great opportunity that this localization and data sovereignty.
Is there, Sumitji, a consumer opportunity here also? I mean, a lot of people, including us, we buy cloud space, whether you own 1 terabyte or 10 terabytes or 100 terabytes, multiply that by millions of people. Is there a consumer opportunity that I would feel safer knowing that this server is here in India or the data center is here in India?
I think opportunity is all across. Opportunity is there for data center providers, for cloud players, for the consumer itself who avails services. There are, file storage services which are prevalent, very much prevalent.
Okay.
And people have, file storage services which are either free or hosted outside of India, which are insecure.